doubled his salary when he was 23 by moving to Weimar, seat of one of the biggest courts in Germany, in order to work for two dukes, Wilhelm Ernst and Ernst August. While still very young, Bach amassed wealth in Weimar, and here his career took off. Unfortunately, this is all that is left of the place where he lived. It was during his appointment at Weimar that Bach encountered the music of the Italian composer Antonio Vivaldi. One of Bach's students, the young prince Johann Ernst, brought Vivaldi's 1712 collection of concertos, L'Estro Armonico, to Weimar from Amsterdam. Bach began to arrange them for keyboard instruments.
Vivaldi's very pointed way to come up with clear-cut harmonic structures and a rather obvious and simply designed motivic structure, Bach takes over, but he develops it into a more complex system. But it's clear that some of the basic ideas that become a permanent feature of Bach's compositional style comes from the Italian tradition of the modern school led by Vivaldi.
Amore traditore, amore traditore, tu non mi inganni, tu non mi inganni, tu non mi inganni più, tu non mi inganni, tu non mi inganni, tu non mi inganni più. Amore traditore, tu non mi inganni, non mi inganni, tu non mi inganni, tu non mi inganni, mi inganni più, tu non mi inganni più, tu non mi inganni più, tu non mi inganni, tu non mi inganni, tu non mi inganni più.
In 1714, Bach was promoted to Konzertmeister. During the next 3 years, he produced concerto transcriptions, a series of masterful church cantatas, and numerous organ works, including a set of 18 organ chorales he would revise at the end of his life. Bach's employment in Weimar ended dramatically. Because of jealousies between the two dukes, he was passed over for the top position of Kapellmeister. Luckily, he was offered another Kapellmeister's post at Köthen, but Wilhelm Ernst wouldn't let him go immediately. Bach got so angry and abusive that he was thrown into prison for nearly a month.
I think he wanted to get out of Weimar, the narrow confines of Weimar. And when he had the opportunity to accept the Kapellmeistership in Köthen, he knew that the Köthen prince had just hired a band of musicians from the dismissed Berlin court chapel, and that he could start with musicians that were twice as good as the ones in Weimar. So he happily accepted the appointment in Köthen, not only to leave the rather miserable Weimar situation as it emerged after all, but he expected that he would work very well with these first-rate musicians from Berlin in Köthen.
Bach's new appointment started in December 1717, when he was 32. His boss, Prince Leopold, was 9 years younger, and Leopold spent a quarter of the court's budget on his great hobby, music. Now he had the brilliant Johann Sebastian Bach as both his Kapellmeister and trophy composer. What could be better?
Die Musiker, mit denen Bach in Köthen zusammenarbeitete, waren die bestausgebildeten und vielleicht auch professionellsten, die er bis dahin erlebt hatte. Fürst Leopold gewährte ihm volle Unterstützung. Bach hatte viel Zeit, Stücke einzustudieren und auch auf die Bedürfnisse seiner Musiker genau zuzuschneiden, sodass jede Aufführung gründlich vorbereitet war und einen besonderen Erfolg dargestellt hat.
The prince played the violin, viola da gamba, and clavier, and loved being a sideman in the band. But the appointment was a new experience for Bach, since he wasn't required to write church music, almost exclusively instrumental works. We know that he probably lived somewhere in this square. Could it have been here? Or here? Or here? It's likely the numbers have now changed, although we have a record of its being 12. At Köthen, Bach promoted the study of keyboard music by writing a collection of pairs of pieces in every tonality, major and minor, up the scale. In each case, a fugue, in which a theme is worked out systematically and continually in all of the voices, is preceded by a prelude, which is often more harmonic in character and serves to introduce it. Bach entitled the collection The Well-Tempered Clavier, a title that appears to advocate a system of tuning keyboard instruments in which each tonality has a slightly different sound. Now, unlike other instruments, keyboards require the strings for each key, be it the white keys or the black ones, to be tuned in a predetermined way. If certain sounds are tuned to sound absolutely pure, then others will be wildly out of tune. Finding a tuning system in which everything is tolerable can be done in two ways. In one, the one used